Welcome, 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 family and friends. Thank you for joining me at What Else? Maria loves to talk. And what am I talking about? No, you guys, I'm not talking about perfumes. I am not talking about candles. I will be talking about crime, and people who do not want to do the time. Dating horror stories, dudes out there looking for love in all the wrong places. So, hey, you know the drill, you guys. If this is something you're interested in, please stay. Get you some snacks, come on back, and let's get into this video, you guys. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. It's sad, but hey. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so this one is from England. Handsome young man. This gentleman name is Saul, S-A-U-L Murray. I believe they said he was 31 or 32. So this is what happened to him, Saul, 33. Two women, and this is from Daily Mail. Two women seduced victim who had posed on Instagram with Rolexes before drugging him with date rape drug. I don't know if these ladies they're getting this, or this been going on, or they're turning the tables on the dudes, because you know that's what I remember. Men, dudes, losers putting these moxies or dollies in the women's drinks so they can, you know, whatever. Or maybe it's from that movie that J-Lo and Cardi B did. So here it says Saul Murray, 33, had been targeted. And I cannot find the picture of the women. I found one of the women. She looks, I don't know, Indian or Middle Eastern. The guy, he looks Jamaican. He's really handsome. I couldn't find the picture of the other woman and the two dudes. So here it says Saul, 33, had been targeted by Supreet Dillon, 35, and Tamita Owie, 21, who seduced and they stripped him naked. Yeah, that's right. After meeting up at Luton home on February the 27th last year. So this happened a little bit after Valentine's Day. And I don't know who or why would someone be on the internet posting pictures of Rolexes, your Mercedes, where you live, giving out your addresses to strangers. Mr. Murray was found naked in a pool of blood in the communal entrance to the flats in Newtown Street after the two men working with the women, Ikram Afia, 31, and Cleon Brown, 29, entered his home to snatch his valuable items. So basically, the women set him up. They lured him in, got there, drugged him, opened the door, you know, had their real boyfriends to rob the guy. I don't know why they had to kill Mr. Saul. He was found a postmortem, died from deep wound to his thigh. It penetrated his femoral artery and he bled out. Wow, they didn't have to do that man like that. Okay, opening the case, Miss Biggerstaff said the murder took place in the early hours on Sunday, February the 27th last year. She said the prosecution's case is that Supreet Dillon made contact with Saul via Instagram on February the 9th after he posted pics of himself wearing two Rolex watches. And I'm curious, I don't know, I didn't see it, what he did for a living. The contact then moved to WhatsApp. So they left from Instagram to WhatsApp. Okay, the four defendants traveled to Luton from London late on Saturday, February the 26th, in a Mercedes A-Class car that Brown had hired. Okay, the prosecutor said they went to steal items from Mr. Murray that they believed were of high value. Okay, so Mr. Ikram Afia had a knife, so they knew they were going. I don't really think these people set out Mr. Saul, not like I know him personally. I just don't think that's what they intention. I think it was just to get in, get his stuff, and run off. Samples taken from the victim's body show he had drunk alcohol that would have given him only a mild degree of intoxication. He also consumed cannabis. The prosecutor said traces of GHB, which has potent sleep-inducing properties, was found. It is prescribed in limited circumstances. Two ladies of the two hoochie mamas, they admitted to prosecution they had done this before. They had got away. They've been running around putting this GHB drug in men and stealing, taking their stuff. So this wasn't the first time. I think this was just the first time somebody died. So here they're saying they've been, I want to say cleaning, including stealing the watches while these men sleep, while these, I don't want to use the word dumb, but these gullible, naive men think that, narcissistic maybe men think that, you know, that what they got is just a gift to women, that these women just gonna just throw their bodies and their yah, you know, at them just to be with them. Okay. She said at some point there was plainly some degree of blank activity between, or should we say shagging, between the two women and Mr. Murray. Swabs from both sides of his face and neck contained, oh wow. Defendants, they will be sentenced March the 3rd. So they will be sentenced. So what they also saying that these people, I'm gonna call them monsters, because that's basically what they, low-life monsters. They left this poor guy just bleeding. Okay, you just left him in a pool of blood. He's running naked outside on the ground where everybody can see him. They leave off in their Mercedes. One of the guys was identified because he had a fancy distinctive coat on. And I don't know if y'all remember me telling you about another story where one of my co-workers told me when we worked at the bank that her neighbor had came to her upset, crying, and confiding to her that her own daughter was out there robbing men, with her boyfriend, getting the guys drunk, and then she would open the door and let her boyfriend and his homies come in, and they would steal the dude's TVs, jewelry or whatnot. And she was caught. I don't know how much time this little girl got, and my friend kept saying she couldn't understand why the young lady was involved in that, because she was a pretty young girl. And the only thing I could say, the men, the boyfriends, the lovers are putting these girls up to doing that. Not in all cases. In some cases, the women are doing it themselves, but I think in a lot of the cases, these girls are being put up to do this by their boyfriends. Okay, moving on. Now this one I saw during the holidays. This is a young, nice-looking college student, just graduated. His name Paul Nguyen, 27. So this is from, let's see, this is from the Daily Beast. Okay, this young man, he's from the United States, he's from California. So here what they're saying, lifeless body of California resident Paul Nguyen, 27, was found on the street corner in a city area, I can't say it, Curacho neighborhood of Medellin, on the morning of November the 10th. He was right around the holidays last year. He had neither cash ID on him, but authorities knew he was right away, had been alerted to his disappearance and given his description the night before. So basically what he is calling, I said I was going to do a video on that, this new name they're calling these guys that go overseas to meet chicks, whether the chicks are in Mexico, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Colombia, even in Thailand, Cambodia. They call them passport bros, and I think the Philippines are popular places for them to go meet girls. But here it sounds like they're saying he was on vacation. So let's get into it. Nguyen was traveling with a friend on his first trip to Medellin, where he had already visited the tomb of Pablo Escobar. The Cal State Fullerton grad was last seen on a date with a mysterious young woman he had met on the popular online dating app Tinder. Okay, and then they say Tinder is owned by Match Group, which was formerly owned by the Daily Beast parent company, IAC. Wow, I didn't know that. But then I'm not on Tinder. I didn't know they had Tinder overseas. Okay, based on information leaked to the Daily Beast, Nguyen's social media account and the woman's dating profile, she appears to have gone by the name Maria Luisa, although that could have been an alias. Okay, so then they say, well, we'll get along if you're an extrovert and make me laugh a lot. This is what she said on her profile. She described herself as 5'1", 24 years old, a Catholic with a college degree. I am a very extroverted woman who likes to meet new people. Then she asked something about she likes animals and babies and believe in love at first sight. Wow, these chicks, they know what to tell these guys, right? Gullible guys. Nguyen family had not responded to interviews requests at the time. So the family didn't want to be interviewed. I don't want to say they embarrassed, which that could possibly be too. You know, you embarrassed that your newly graduated son, everything is gone. Okay, so the couple allegedly met on the evening of November 9th in an upscale Poblado neighborhood. When Paul didn't return to the hotel that night, his friend grew concerned. He contacted a Medellin resident who had offered to show Paul and his friend around town. That resident went straight to the police, but was told 72 hours had to elapse before a missing person report could be filed. I don't think that's right. Especially knowing that they're saying this guy is a tourist from another country, from the United States, and y'all know that place, Medellin, I know y'all gonna get me, I ain't saying it right, that is a very high crime area. So here it says, I said, imagine what could be done to a kidnapping victim in half an hour, the resident, who spoke on the condition he wanted to be confidential. How can they expect us to wait 3 days? He then decided to take matters into his own hand by reviewing photos Paul had posted on social media that night when he went missing, showing pictures around town. He said he was able to find the discotheque where the couple had went. He tracked down the waiter who had served Maria and Paul. This guy was on it. He was a good friend. He was smart. He said a new clue emerged. Okay. I told the waiter that I'm looking for this boy and this girl. And he says that they were here and that he waited on them. But he thought it was very strange that Paul had a lot of cash in his hand. Yet when he paid the bill, Maria told him to pay by card. So the dude had the cash money, but the chick said, oh no, pay by a card. Duh. The waiter said the last time he saw Paul, he and Maria were getting into a car. His credit card was used multiple times at an ATM during the night, and $500 was sent via PayPal to a woman named Natalia Andrea Arias at around 5 a.m. His body was found just hours later, about 5 miles from his last known location. I'm sorry, I don't know this kid. Well, he's a kid to me because anybody that's really young to me is a kid. They didn't have to do that dude like that. They didn't have to do Saul like that. Y'all didn't have to do that. Just take the money. Well, Universal newspaper quoted Nguyen's family as saying he had been robbed and poisoned. Okay. Maybe they gave him too much. Okay, so he was robbed and poisoned. That's a bad way to go. Mr. Nguyen, okay, died of an overdose knockout drug called scopolamine, also known as the devil's breath. His claim was backed up by an officer within Medellin security forces who agreed to speak to the Daily on condition of being anonymous. I heard that drug mentioned on another YouTuber's page talking about passport bros, where another man, this was a young, muscular, looked like bodybuilder, a black guy, they had gave him that, and he was somewhere in South America. I don't know if it was in Brazil or in Colombia, but they gave him that, and he was lucky to make it through. Okay, so here he's saying, in the initial report that we had access to, the pathologist confirmed that it had been scopolamine. The source said. He added that a full toxicology report is still pending, and that the scopolamine might have been mixed with other drugs to create a lethal cocktail that led to Nguyen's death. So they mixed it up with something. So, and social media deceptions and catfishing crimes are nothing new, but Colombian gangs have perfected the dark art of the honey trap. So it's called honey trap. So we call it catfishing. They call it honey trap. And scopolamine, don't get me, is often their drug of choice for rolling wealthy paisanos and foreign tourists alike. Again, the dudes are putting the women up to doing this. I'm not saying that the women not slide, they're not smooth operators like that, but the dudes are behind it. And so just like they're saying, it is some type of gang. So here they're saying also known by its street name of Burundanga. So scopolamine has been called the most dangerous drug in the world. God darn. Because of the trance-like state that overtakes its victims and the ensuing amnesia. Those effects combine to make the drug ideal use for criminal gangs. Many men who may have difficulty finding love or a potential life partner in the cities and countries where they reside become gullible and easy prey from violent gangs in Colombia. Passport bros. Yeah, that I went there. So basically, the cop is saying, no, Mike Vigil, DEA former overseas bureau chief, he interviewed. So he's basically saying, let me break it down real low. Basically, he's saying, losers, dudes can't get a woman in America, men that don't have any game, men who are not charismatic, men that's kind of slow, they got to go overseas to get a chick or get smashed, shagged, or get laid. So these women really don't want to be bothered with them. They don't want them no way, because they got a man, they got a boyfriend, and that's their hook, that's their game. And these girls are not even doing what this other girl did in the Saul case. They was doing a little smashing. These girls here, they're not gonna smash at all. They're just gonna put that drug in them and knock these dudes out and take their stuff and get their boyfriend and go. It's sad. These criminals often use the internet and beautiful women to lure them into elaborate and dangerous situations in order to rob and keep hallucinating, basically, and euphoric properties. I guess you would have to just have that kind of wicked black heart, because I couldn't do nobody like that. It's, I mean, couldn't you just say, hey, Paul Nguyen, hey, Saul, can you spare me $50? Can you give me $100? I mean, why not do that? I'm just saying, you guys. I'm just saying. Okay, so here are travel warnings put out by the U.S. Overseas Security Council estimates the number of annual scopolamine incidents in Colombia at 50,000. That's a lot of dudes. The OSC report states that the devil's breath can render victims unconscious for 24 hours or more. In large doses, it can cause respiratory failure and death. And remember, when these guys, you're overseas, you're not in America, you're not in the U.S. Hospitals here see you for free. You overseas in these countries, in Mexico, whatever, you're going to have your money up front. They're not just going to be seeing you, giving you all these expensive treatments and stuff, okay? And then some of them might not be equipped to handle something like this. So here he says, it is often administered in liquid or powder form in foods and beverages. The majority, basically, you know what this reminds me of? And they've just kind of given it all these names. This is basically, in a nutshell, when people would say, my brother got hoodoo, my sister got voodoo. This is poison. That's basically, in a nutshell, what this is, okay? So the majority of these incidents occur in nightclubs and bars, and usually men perceived to be wealthy are targeted by young, attractive women. Well, I'm sorry, on that dude's page that I saw where he was showing his friend who got hoodwinked by a chick or catfish, the women that he was showing, I did not see Sofia Vergara, okay? I did not see Zoe Zeldana. I did not see Selma Hayek. I did not see, I forgot what's this other girl. I did not see that. So they making it look like when they go overseas, they get these this Miss Venezuela, Miss Colombia, Miss Universe. That's not what I'm seeing. they getting, okay? Just saying. It is a tremendously good lure for these criminal gangs to use beautiful women. Liken the practice to that of a spider luring a fly into a web. Encounters from Tinder and Grindr. 27 foreigners also have been killed in the city in 2020-22, and at least 4 of those cases involve scopolamine poisoning. Okay, and that's pretty much in a nutshell. So here somebody's saying these people chose money and greed over a single thought of my brother's life. So this is what Mr. Paul, family member, is saying. I don't think they're gonna be able to do anything. I'm looking to see, did they do anything? Okay, they're showing somebody else went missing. Okay, so here the journalist mentioned another high-profile incident involving Canadian professor Dr. Ramazan Jinke, who went missing in Medellin in December of 2018. According to Mata, Jinke, like Nguyen, fell for a woman on Tinder and was last seen in a company of unknown individuals at a local nightclub. He fell into the clutches of a gang that supplied him with the devil's breath in his drink, and unfortunately they supplied him with more than needed the dose. They overdid it, and he died from the situation. It is one of the best known cases in the city in recent years. This is what that man Mata is saying. Wow. In low doses for nausea and motion sickness, okay? Its extract is derived from the Bacararo shrub, which grows wild in the mountains of Central and South America. Ease of availability and difficulty in detection are some of the reasons the drug is often used to incapacitate victims. Okay, so that's what he's saying. So he's also, they're saying here from another doctor, Dr. Hugo Gallego, a toxicologist, he's saying that these crime gangs are said experimenting with different formulas to combine scopolamine with commercial tranquilizers, sedatives, and sleep-inducing drugs like Zopiclone. Okay, what happened to just getting a job? What happened to people forming? Being a waiter? I don't know, working at Wendy's? What happened to just getting a job? You know, yeah, you got to do all that. They're not going to be able to find this woman that did this to this man, Paul. So here, back to Paul, they're saying his sister Amy started a GoFundMe page in the hope of raising enough money to bring her brother's body home for funeral service. Well, this was in November. We're in January. I'm pretty sure they raised the money. She says, my brother is a victim of cruel and senseless crime. These people chose money and greed over a single thought of my brother's life, Amy wrote on her GoFundMe site. Paul was my older brother who always was there to take care of me. He was my shoulder to cry on. I hope everyone who knew Paul stays strong. Comment or I'm not speculating, it's just, my commentary about these two cases. And I will do some more on Passport Bros. This young man, you can tell he's from a good family. The other young man, Saul, he had his Rolexes, so he had it going on too. People are seeing what folks have, and they want to live that caviar. I don't know, Ciroc life that they see the stars. They see P. Diddy. They see LeBron James. They see Tom Brady. They see Tom Cruise. They see Beyonce and Jay-Z, Carrie Underwood and her man. What they're not realizing, you gotta put in work. You gotta work. Okay, all these people, Victoria Beckham and David Beckham, these people work. They have jobs. These football players, baseball players, they're working an honest job. Ain't nobody just giving them something. They're working. They're putting in honest sweat. These little hooligans out here, they want the same lifestyle that the celebrities and the athletes have, the rappers have, but they don't want to put in work. Some of them, they won't even work at Amazon. They won't work at McDonald's. They don't want to work at Walmart. And no, I'm not giving these people an excuse that's in Medellin, in Colombia, Venezuela, Dominican Republic. Y'all don't get no excuses, because I know there's jobs out there as well. So these dudes, this guy, this Paul guy, I'm trying to figure out why did his friend why did his friend let him go, but why did his friend then say, hey dude, let me come with you. Hey dude, or whoever they friend that lived in the town, you know what's going on. So, you should have warned him and said, hey, homie, let one of us come with you. You can't just meet a woman on Tinder and go out. You guys, all I can say is you have sons. We know they were doing it to the girls, men putting stuff. Now, as you see here, or as I see, because I didn't know this was going on with the dudes, you need to warn your sons, your brothers, your nephews, maybe even your husbands. Because, I hate to say it, some of us, we really don't know after seeing, all this stuff going on in these jobs, and men who are truck drivers or delivery drivers, hey, again, be careful. Keep the candles lit. These young men, anybody throwing it at you, you need to question, why is she just throwing it at me? What's up? What's next? You really need to form a relationship with a person, get to know a person. And as the old people would say, don't take any drink or food from someone. Don't leave your food or drink. But hey, it wouldn't even matter, because even if he sat there and just drank water, or he didn't even eat any food and just watched her eat, they had already targeted him. So when he walked out, that boyfriend or his dudes, they were gonna beat him down anyway to get that money or credit cards or whatever they wanted. So either way, he was a target day one. Okay, you guys, stay safe when you're out there traveling. I want to please leave me the comments. Thank you for watching my video. Again, Happy New Year, and stay healthy, safe, and happy. Thank you.